What's up guys, how's it going, and welcome to the Minute channel. Today we're gonna be discussing some pretty interesting stuff here, because I've noticed some people actually already discussing this on their Twitter or other places. So Shin Megami Tensei 5 opened up their I'll say their pre-orders about a week ago or so at this time, and the results of the fiasco, but not really just the fiasco, but really the amount of people that went out of their way to pre-order Shin Megami Tensei 5 was insane. I mean, it's insane enough that Atlas made a couple different tweets about it, talking about how they didn't expect this amount of people to go and pre-order, and how they were trying to get more pre-orders open and everything. So needless to say, I feel like not only did Atlas not expect the amount of people to go out for pre-order, but also really the perspective. You know, everybody, the reception of everybody is just anticipation for this game. I think it was unprecedented, and also something that a lot of people just didn't expect overall. So I'm really excited to see what the numbers are gonna be. But today we're gonna really talk about Shin Megami Tensei 5, and do you think that this game is actually gonna surpass the most selling game in the series right now, which is Persona 5 Royal, with 2.1 million copies as of, I believe, the beginning of the year. So a lot of things to consider, right? The Persona series has developed over time in a way that really has been outselling Shin Megami Tensei for a long time. It's not just like Persona 1, they just started outselling better. Like each iteration of Persona has just been continuously selling more. When it comes to games, for example, Persona 3, I believe it sold a lot more than a lot of the other Shin Megami Tensei games. Persona 4 definitely outsold a lot more. And then Persona 4 Golden, just, again, every single iteration of Persona has just been selling more over time. And that can be attributed for a lot of different reasons, which I'm not really gonna be about, because overall Persona and Shin Megami Tensei are significantly different series. Overall, like, sure, they're within the Mega 10 space, but they're very significantly different in a lot of different aspects, including the tone and the way that they approach storytelling and gameplay. So while they are very similar series, they do have their own, I'll say, almost like their own fan bases and their own kind of ways to approach things. But I have seen a lot of people who have started playing Persona games really going to Shin Megami Tensei, and I'm really happy about it. I know a lot of people in the the late 2000s, and now through this time, there's been a lot of memes between kind of like the reception of the Shin Megami Tensei fanbase versus the Persona fanbase and so on. And I'm not really going to talk about it too much here, because it's not really what I'm talking about today. But I do see that a lot of the people have kind of been getting more into Shin Megami Tensei because of Persona, and that's typically what happens. I mean, personally, myself, I started with Persona 3, and I've played a lot of Shin Megami Tensei games since then, and it's been a good time. You know, like I'm happy that I met Shin Megami Tensei through Persona and everything. So me, like many other people, I too met the series because of Persona. I don't really know a lot of people that just know Shin Megami Tensei not because of Persona, especially nowadays with how famous and how big Persona has become. So going back to the game, and Shin Megami Tensei 5, I do believe it's gonna sell really good. I don't know if it's necessarily gonna outsell Persona 5, but Shin Megami Tensei has a lot of things to consider that will do good for them. One being, Switch has a really big fan base of JRPG fans, not just Persona, but in general. They hold a really big stake on JRPGs, something that, although PS4 was one of the biggest selling consoles of all time, it doesn't really hold a lot of JRPG fans. Sure it does, because there's a lot of big fan series with JRPG games on them. But at the same time, a lot of these games have now come out on other systems like the Switch or even PC, and it's not like there's a big fan base of JRPG fans just waiting for more JRPGs on PS4. But if you look at the Switch, on the other hand, there is a ton of people. There is a ton of people just kind of, you can definitely see that there is so much potential when it comes to the JRPG space that I do believe the Switch is gonna be a good propellant for the series. I think there was the right choice to release the game on Switch. Personally, I feel like it would have been better if they had released on all consoles, but particularly releasing it on Switch is doing good for them. It seems like a lot of people are just kind of getting into the series, not just because of Persona, but because it's coming out on Switch. People that weren't interested in Shin Megami Tensei or Persona are now seeing this game because they saw it on E3 or because they saw it or on a Nintendo post on Twitter. I've seen a lot of new people just kind of being like, oh my gosh, you know, this new game, this new RPG and everything, and that is really cool. That's seeing just brand new people coming into the series because of advertisement or because of the E3 or that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool stuff. Honestly, I never thought I was gonna see if you told me years ago, hey, we're gonna see Shin Megami Tensei announced on E3, or even things like, oh, you know, the pre-orders are just gonna sell within 2 minutes of release. That kind of stuff is just crazy stuff. Like, to overall, like, if you really think about it, that stuff it's crazy. It's a crazy thing to think about, that pre-orders will just sell within seconds or minutes. You know, I never seen this kind of reception on a JRPG in a long time. Hell, even Persona 5 Rojo or Persona 5 did not sell out right away. Like, I remember just having seen the announcement for Persona 5 and going a few days later to GameStop to pre-order the game. So nothing of the sorts. Like, this is a weird phenomenon that I'm seeing right now with Shin Megami Tensei 5 just outselling everything within seconds and everything. So will it outsell Persona 5, Rojo? I don't know, but I think it's gonna come up pretty close. I think it may be one of the best selling, it's definitely gonna be the best selling Shin Megami Tensei game on the series. May not be the bigger Megaten game, but it's gonna definitely sell really good. I have high hopes for the game. Everything about it has screamed quality. Everything that I've seen so far, from the reception of the people to the pre-orders, that seems like it's definitely gonna sell pretty good. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think about all this? Do you think it's gonna sell good? Do you not think it's gonna sell good? Tell me in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.